Hello, everyone. This is Sunil Sundaraj from njvarsity.rivals.com. Today, I'm happy to welcome in DePaul Catholic High School football senior quarterback, Andrew Butler. Andrew, thank you so much for taking some time out to speak with me today.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Congratulations, Andrew. It said on a tremendous career there at DePaul Catholic, on and off the football field. Uh, can you just talk about, especially with your senior season, you've had some time now to just reflect on what you were able to do. I know it was a different year, especially last year with the COVID-19 pandemic. Um, what comes to your mind when you just think about the season, Andrew?
It was definitely a different season with everything that happened, but it's just we were so fortunate to be able to play and just be able to be together as a team. I know there's some other states that weren't able to play, um, so we were just super excited as a team to be able to play, and really for us seniors just to have our last year to really enjoy it and just be with the team and have fun and be able to play on the field. So it was definitely fun just to be able to play.
Yeah, I mean, what was that? What were the emotions going through your mind, like knowing? I mean, the unknown if you were going to play or not. Once you got that green light that you guys were going to have a season, and of course, the training was different last year. And if you can talk about that first practice, that first game, Andrew.
Yeah, so it was hard probably because we didn't really know, like you said, we didn't really know, it was unknown on what was going to happen. There's tons of rumors flying around. Um, practices got pushed off, they got canceled, everything was happening. So you didn't really know if the season was going to happen. So when they got the first plan out of like how the season's going to go, how the practices are going to work, and we're finally able to just step on the field and officially start practicing, it was just like I guess like a relief, and it was so
Yeah.
much. It was so nice to just be able to be on the field and have just knowing like, hey, like it's gonna actually work out. We're gonna be able to play.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, it was different with like the 2 week break, stuff like that. But it was still just nice to be able to practice. And then when we finally got to the first game, the season was able to start. We were able to have our families in the stands. Some of the students were able to come out too, which was nice. And just being able to play, like I said, it was just like it was. We were very fortunate just to be able to play.
Yeah, that's great. Just with the seniors, Andrew, was there any, going to this season, anything that you guys personally want to accomplish as a group, going out, final season there at DePaul Catholic?
We just want to really go out there, just have the best season we possibly could. So we were just looking to put in all the work that we could. Of course, we're going with the mentality to try to win every single game. Um, and just really do everything that we can to have the best season. Looking back on it, I think we did have a really good season. Um, like I said, it was just fun being out there. It's fun playing with your brothers.
Yeah.
So we were just happy with being able to play.
I have to ask you, of course, a limited schedule, and alluded to the fact that, I mean, week to week, you didn't know if you were going to have a game, and then games getting canceled and pushed back. Uh, I have to ask you, is the season, wore on, and knowing that, you're coming to, your career there was coming to a close, and then that final game, final home game. What were, just what was going through your mind, during that time period, Andrew?
I guess it was like a bittersweet feeling. Kind of knowing, we were fortunate enough to know when it was our last game.
Hmm.
Because we were canceled beforehand, so we weren't sure if we were going to be able to play because we had like a COVID situation with a few games during our season. But when we got cleared and we knew we were going to be able to play one more last game, it was just nice to be able to enjoy the final practices, just really be able to step out there on the final game and just enjoy. And I think the best thing was just knowing, like I said, that it was our last game, and just knowing that, like, hey, I get to play one more game
Yeah.
um, at DePaul. So it was just nice.
Hey, you still were able to put up incredible stats. I mean, nearly what, I think 1,500 passing yards, 11 touchdowns. I mean, to go out on that type of note, I know it didn't, the final game, said, I think you guys lost to St. Joe's, but the
Mhm.
fact that, personally, you were able to, still, I mean, even what, 6 games, put up those numbers, had to feel good, especially going, as a senior going out on that note, Andrew.
Yeah, definitely, I'd agree. It just really was nice just being able to see, all the hard work kind of paid off. Even with an uncertain season and different times, different types of training, stuff like that. Just being able to consistently put in work definitely helped this season.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some of your accolades, named to the NJFCA Super 100 All-State Team, All County, first team All North Jersey. I mean, those are some, major achievements. I mean, can you just talk about that, being recognized, and also several of your other teammates as well for All County, Andrew?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's an honor to be able to be named all of those. Um, alongside so many great players, especially with this year. Um, and it's like a special feeling knowing that you're recognized as one of the top players. So I'm super thankful and super honored for that. And yeah, I think like you said, it's just so much better knowing that some of my teammates were able to be honored with those same accolades. Just knowing the guys that you put in the work with and the guys you play alongside are getting recognized as well.
Yeah, no, great point. Hey, you were coming off an outstanding 2019 season. I mean, culminating, in that win over Mater D Prep, at Rutgers University. I mean, I think passing for close to 2,900 yards, 27 touchdowns, four rushing TDs. But in that game against Mater D Prep, passing for nearly 400 yards, three passing TDs. I think get a rushing score. I mean, can you just talk about how special that season was, Andrew?
Definitely, it was a super special season. We finished, the best way we possibly could have. We were able to win the state championship.
Yeah,
That's probably the best feeling I've ever had playing high school football. Just walking off after we won.
yeah.
Um, just being able to share the experience with, the seniors that were graduating, the guys in my class, the younger guys, all of that. Um, just to be able to have like a good game. The game plan that the coaches put in where it was fantastic, and I think that kind of showed. So it just kind of all came together. All the work throughout the entire season, being able to end it with the state championship was probably the most special thing of my high school career.
I mean, how good is it knowing, Andrew, that you've had, I mean, a full complement of like wide receivers and running backs? I mean, going back to last year, I think, Charles Finley, Teddy Full, you had Sean Kelly, Demir White. I mean, and then Marshawn Ferguson this year, Corey Lyde, Edward Conderon, and then I think Nunzio, Listano. I mean, to be able to spread that ball around, how good is that knowing that you have multiple targets, on the field that can, said again, be able to break out, said for a touchdown or a long run. Just can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I was definitely super fortunate to both years as a starter have so many weapons on the offense, and just being able to use every single guy out there and being able to trust every single guy. And like you said, I mean, every single person that you listed, they were capable of turning a small play into a big play. So um, it's definitely I was definitely fortunate to have all those weapons. It was a lot of fun playing alongside of them and just being able to trust them and just let them make plays.
Quarterback is one of the most, I mean, you talk about high pressure, positions. It falls on the QB. I mean, I talk about a field goal kicker, but a quarterback. Can you talk about? You have to have everybody in sync. As far as your running backs, your offensive line, your wide receivers. Can you just talk about how you've been able to, manage those game, situations and on the field, Andrew?
Mm. Yeah, definitely. I think first it starts out with just preparation. Watching all the extra film, going through the game plan with the coaches. Making sure practice the entire week goes smoothly and everyone's on the same page.
Mhm.
I think the cool thing about playing quarterback, it's kind of that stuff you look forward to. I think every single quarterback really enjoys kind of being like the leader, um, being the guy that has to kind of organize the team and kind of make sure everyone's in sync. So it just comes with the position, and like I said, with the preparation and having great coaches, having great players around you, just kind of all falls together, and it's great to play.
I have to ask you, I don't have interview, is it left-handed QB? I have to ask you about that. Can you, for everyone out there, just describe that, because I think it's so much different, as said from that perspective, Andrew.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is always all my coaches. It's always opposite. So kind of just growing up my entire life, I've kind of had to like flip everything in my head, whether
Yeah,
it's like a QB training or whether it's practicing.
yeah,
Um, so it is different. It's kind of unique, I guess, because it's a different situation for everyone, even the coaches.
yeah.
But Coach Campanelli, my quarterback coach, Matt Sims, they always do great jobs of kind of translating it for me and helping me out.
Yeah, it's I wanted to ask you is that as far as your training, like as we know, Andrew, it's 24/7, 365. I mean, there's never a day off. I mean, if you want to be the best, out there and excel, and I said receive those honors, you have to put in the time. Can you talk about from where you started out as a freshman and then here ending up as senior, as far as your training in the off season, what you did, again, during that time?
Yeah. So first, you're always working out with the team. We always worked out either 3 or 4 times a week. As a team, we had a great program for weightlifting. Just get stronger, get bigger, all of that. And aside from that, like stuff I do on my own, I have a quarterback coach and Matt Sims,
Okay.
who I work with by the whole flow of the off season. I'm probably working about 3 times a week with him, throwing routes, with receivers, going through footwork, going through drills. And also I've worked with speed and agility coaches. So Joe Tagger I've worked with in the past. I've worked with, a few guys that have really just helped me physically mature and physically, be able to get faster, get stronger, stuff like that. And like you said, it's kind of like you gotta work on something a little bit every single day. And so through my 4 years, I've just always worked as hard as I could, um, and just made sure that that was a priority of mine.
Going back a couple of years ago, I had to ask you, learning, Taquan Robertson there, learning under him. What was, as far as Taquan, like, work, just some of the intangibles, and you were able to pick up on some of the nuances, and then, again, apply it to your game. And then, as you said, the last 2 years definitely reflect, said all that hard work that you put in, Andrew.
Yeah, I think learning under him was probably one of the best things that could have happened for me. I mean, just him teaching me so much, whether that was just like how to watch film, how to read defenses, how to translate from practice into the games, but also just watching him. I got to learn, how to be a true leader. You always got to be the hardest worker. You always got to put in the extra work, especially as a quarterback. I used to watch him always, put in extra time with the film. He'd stay after practice. He'd work out with guys on his own. Um, so he was definitely a huge help to me. And I mean, he always helped me whenever I needed help. If I ever had a question, he would answer it. So it was great to be able to just learn under him, and he definitely did help me a lot.
It's great. You talk about the coaches. I mean, this was emotional season because head coach John McKenna, his last year there as head coach at DePaul Catholic. Can you just talk about Coach McKenna and what he meant to you as far as your development and progression here the past 4 years at DePaul Catholic, Andrew?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he meant so much to not only me but to the entire program. That's not just the players that are on it right now, but the people he's coached beforehand and the alumni. And I think the best thing about Coach McKenna is not even with the X's and O's and with the footballs. Obviously, he's one of the best out there. I mean, he won 5 state championships. He built the team from super small school to being able to compete every single year. But it's just who he is off the field, and he really is like special to everyone. He always develops relationships with everyone he coaches. He's just a genuine dude. He's the best guy you would want to play under. Like he really is. If you want to play under someone, it would be him. So
Yeah.
it was definitely emotional, knowing that it was his last season. But it was great to share that with him.
Yeah. What was that final game like? As the final whistle went off, and knowing that was it. I mean, can you just talk about? I mean, just the team. Said the
Hmm.
seniors, especially Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna fight as hard as we could for him, try to send him off on the right way. Unfortunately, we couldn't. It was a great game. Joe's just, they played better than us. They were able to beat us, but it was definitely going into that. We knew it was his last game, and we knew how much it meant to him. And just being able to, all the, how different this season was, how hard it was. I'm sure it wasn't, what he expected
Mhm.
either, but we just wanted to kind of make this experience the best that it could be for him and kind of just send him off. And I guess when the whistle blew, we kind of knew we were all thankful for everything we've done. We are all going up, giving him hugs, just thanking him, wishing him the best. So yeah.
That's great. Uh, I had to actually. I wanted to ask you about the competition, especially non-public Group Three, Group Four. I mean, this is not only some of the best, rivalries and games. I think every year in the county, said North Jersey, and across the country. Can you talk and some of the best quarterbacks you've seen, play on this level, but then even at the next level in college? Can you just talk about, I mean, that every year, just, going up against, St. Joe's, Bergen Catholic, Don Bosco. I mean, all these, I mean, that's for you guys. I mean, for you personally, I said that's probably something you look forward to every season, Andrew.
Definitely. I'd agree. This is such a great league. I think really the thing that makes it so great is week in and week out. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a tough game. And you're always going to have to fight. I think that helps prepare you so much for not only future seasons in high school, between junior and senior year, but also for college. You're just talking to guys who've played in college, who are playing right now. They always say how much it prepares them just to face the competition, just to go through the work that we go through, the preparation that we have to, do. It definitely translates to college. And they say it helps out. And then also just makes the games more fun, more entertaining.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, week in and week out, it's definitely going to be a great game. You can't let up. So it definitely is. I think it's the best thing about it is just the competition.
Yeah, we missed out. It said limited amount of fans, and it said the students, marching band, cheerleaders. I mean, you had some family and some, but that environment, unlike any other. I mean, it's just see the electricity, on the field, and the players going at it, said for 4 quarters, but then you see fans, except from opposing schools. I mean, I think it's some of the best. I mean, again, not only in New Jersey, but again, I have to say across the country, Andrew.
Yeah, definitely. It's so much fun playing in front of them. I think it's great. It just shows like a great culture in North Jersey. How seriously we take football.
Yeah.
And really all of New Jersey. I shouldn't just say North Jersey,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, it is fun to play in front of the crowds, and it helps so much when you get the momentum going and the whole crowd is chanting.
Yeah.
It makes it fun. It makes the whole experience. I think that's something that you'll remember for, I mean, probably your entire life. Like, I mean, I still remember my first game against Pope John. Like the stands were packed and it was just wild, and
Yeah.
it was just so much fun to be able to play and hear the cheers and just hear everyone go crazy, all the chants. So definitely is something special about football in New Jersey.
I had to ask you, 2019 playing at Rutgers, SHI Stadium. What was that, for you and the rest of the team, in the locker rooms, walking onto that field, playing on that field? Just talk about that, Andrew.
Yeah, definitely. It was something special. I mean, being in the locker room was so cool. I think my favorite thing was probably walking down the tunnel before the game even started. Just to be able to experience an entrance like that. When you first run into the stadium, you don't really realize how big it is until you're on the
Yeah.
field. And you're running out, and you just look, and you're just surrounded by stands. You get to
Yeah.
see all the people surrounding you too.
Yeah.
So it was definitely super cool to be able to experience that and be able to see like what a college locker room is like.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, the tunnel, like the stands, all of that. They had the big screen going on during it, which was cool. I got that. So it was definitely like a unique and special experience.
That's great. I just have a couple more. Can't thank you enough for the time, Andrew. I wanted to pivot back to DePaul Catholic. I know that, of course, remote learning, 2020, but the previous years, support from the students, athletic director, administration, and even the town of, Wayne itself. I know that there are kids. I think Scholar had mentioned that, kids from other towns as well, but just the overall support that you guys received, from them.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think the coolest thing about it is DePaul's a super small school. There's only like 400 people in
Okay.
the entire school, so it's kind of like everyone knows each other, which is the best part because all the soccer players know all the football players. They know all the basketball players, and we even just know all like the regular students that just attend there just for school. So there's like a little mini community, which is awesome. And, I think probably the coolest part is when you're playing a game, you see the student section, you just know everybody that's in there. And you have classes with like half of them, which is the best part. So it definitely is like tight knit. I think everyone supports everyone, which is awesome. And it's just like just a great atmosphere in DePaul.
Great. I had to ask you, what makes not only the high school special, you probably have already answered this, but also wearing that DePaul Catholic football jersey, what that represented to you, Andrew.
I think it just represents a great tradition of just toughness. Just guys that came before us and that just put everything they could into the program. Like I said, it's still a program that's being built up. Um, I mean, even in the early 2010s, which is this decade, they're a super small school playing like Group Two schools, and now we're able to compete with the Group Four schools. So it's just like a tradition of just hard work, just toughness, and just it's kind of like a family that you represent from the present and the past.
Great. As we know, it's just not about athletics, Andrew. It's academics as well. I see 3.9 GPA. I mean, just amazing. I mean, what you've been able to do, balancing it out. Can you talk about? We all know you got to be organized. You got to be, detail oriented. Really locked in. Said as far as that. How have you been able to, just walk that fine line? Just again, being able to, do it again so fluently here.
Oh yeah, I think my parents did a great job of just kind of like instilling that in me like as an early age how important grades are, how important like getting an education is, not just getting the grades but like actually learning. Um, so I've always growing up it's always been serious in my house. So just being able to go into high school, um, wasn't just a goal just to play football. It was also to try to get the best grades I could, just actually take education serious. Um, so I just say through that and just through being organized is probably the number one thing. I've been able to accomplish some nice things.
I had to ask you about the college process, how that is working out for you right now, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean it's different. Obviously, you can't go to any schools, you can't meet the
Yeah,
coaches
yeah.
um, in person. So it's been a lot of calls, a lot of texts, Zoom, stuff like that. Just staying in contact with everyone who's recruiting me, in just various different ways to try to build a relationship.
Now these days, of course, using Huddle and like some of these other applications, I'm sure for you that's it expedites the process, makes it much easier. As far as reaching out, to the colleges, the universities, and prospective recruiters as well, Andrew.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing is because you know, with all that stuff, I'm able to get them everything they want to see. Even though we can't see in person, they can't watch me live. They could ask for videos of my workouts. They could ask for game film, transcripts, all that stuff, and being able to send them. It just kind of helps because um, whatever they need to see, it's easier to access and easier to send to them. So it definitely helps it.
That's great. I know you talked about family support, your parents, if you have any siblings, and just what they meant to you, as far as this journey, said before DePaul Catholic and now here in high school. Can you just talk about that? I was wondering, just was sports big in the family, growing up as well, Andrew?
Yeah, sports has always been big, and actually I have three siblings. My
Okay.
older brother, he actually played football at DePaul too. My older
Okay.
sister, she cheered, and then my younger sister, has played sports in the past. We actually all went to DePaul, which is really
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Me and my sister, yeah, she's a junior right now.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, they've always been super supportive. They've always helped me every single step of the way. They've encouraged me. They've motivated me. So I can't really think of enough, and they've just been the best they could possibly be.
Yeah, it's great to have that tradition, have that legacy, as far as attending the same school. That's fantastic. I was wondering, just going back to football, any quarterbacks, whether it be on the college or NFL level, that you've followed and say, look, you know what, there's some things there I could apply to my game as well, Andrew.
I say my favorite quarterback growing up, I was always a big Giants fan. So my favorite quarterback was always Eli Manning.
Okay,
Just because that's when I was old enough to like understand and watch football, that's the quarterback I always watched.
yeah,
Um, so he was actually like the guy that I guess kind of helped me decide I want to be a quarterback just watching him.
yeah,
And then I mean just yeah, I guess watching other quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees.
yeah.
You got Patrick Mahomes now. I think they all have little things in their games that makes it unique. And if you watch them, you can take little things from them, little special things that they do. You can try to apply to your game to just help you.
I had to ask you, what makes the game of football so special to you, Andrew?
Um, I mean, I've been around it my whole life. Like I said, my older brother played it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I started flag football in pre-K, and I
Okay.
started tackle football in kindergarten because I just loved being around it. And I mean, I've just loved the game. I've loved like everything behind it with all the the fans, all the tradition behind it,
Yeah.
and just the game itself. So I mean, I've just played it my whole life, and I've just never not loved it. So I guess just being around it is really just you know what made me fall in love with football.
Yeah. Final questions that you talked about being a leader on a team. As a senior, being able to again pass that knowledge, that experience down to the underclassmen, the freshmen, and sophomores. You were there at one point, of course, learning, said the ropes and looking up to the seniors, and then just to further elaborate that on with younger athletes, younger kids. You've seen them at the games throwing the football around. They're trying to figure out, okay, is something football I'm cut out for, and eventually I want to make it to varsity. I'm wondering what your message is, to those younger players.
Yeah, I mean, I think being a freshman, like viewing other people as leaders and also being a leader, I think it just came down to just hard work and just if you really love football, and if that's something you want to do, and just always believe in, um, that you can continue to play as long as you would like. And so just learning, how important hard work is, how important um, preparing and doing everything you need to do is. And just playing through high school, you have the whole off season, where all you're doing is just working as hard as you can. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned, and just the importance of just hard work and just loving what you do.
Sounds good. Hey, Andrew, I can't thank you enough for the time here. Just being able to interview you, said congratulations on your success again there at DePaul Catholic, again on and off the field, and wishing you continued success, in college next year or this
Thank
year. I
Yeah,
forgot.
thank you.
I was thinking, still think it's 2020, but no, 2021. But yeah, in the fall, I said it's great to see, say what you've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.